August 1945. Deep beneath the waves of the Pacific, a shadow moved silently, a vessel unlike any the world had ever seen. It was not just a submarine, it was a floating airbase, capable of launching bombers across oceans. Its name was I-400, and it represented Japan's most audacious secret weapon. A technological marvel born from desperation, designed to change the course of the war. The idea for the I-400 began years earlier, in 1942, when the tide of World War II was turning against Japan. The Empire had struck boldly at Pearl Harbor, but by 1943, the United States had regained momentum in the Pacific. Japan's leaders needed a weapon that could strike directly at American soil, a psychological blow that would force the U.S. to negotiate peace. To achieve that, the Imperial Japanese Navy turned to one of its most visionary officers, Admiral Isoroku Yamamoto. Yamamoto imagined a new kind of warship, a submarine aircraft carrier that could travel halfway across the world undetected, surface near the enemy's coast, and launch aircraft capable of bombing key targets. Such a weapon could strike Washington, D.C., San Francisco, or the Panama Canal without warning. It would be a ghostly force, unseen, unstoppable, and capable of vanishing back beneath the sea. From this vision emerged the Sentoku-class submarines, the largest and most advanced underwater vessels of their time. At 400 feet long, nearly double the size of any contemporary submarine, the I-400 was a behemoth. It could sail around the world without refueling, carrying enough fuel for 37,000 miles of travel. Its most striking feature, however, was its massive cylindrical hangar mounted on the deck, a watertight chamber that could house 3 specially designed Aichi M6 Asaran attack aircraft. These aircraft were compact, sleek, and deadly. Each could be assembled and launched within minutes after surfacing. Once airborne, they had a range of nearly 650 miles and could carry a single 1,760-pound bomb. The Japanese engineers had even designed folding wings and tail sections so that the planes could fit inside the submarine's hangar like puzzle pieces. A massive 20-meter catapult on the deck could hurl the aircraft into the sky, transforming the silent submarine into a sudden aerial threat. By early 1944, the first I-400 was nearing completion at the Kure Naval Arsenal. 2 more were under construction, the I-401 and I-402. These submarines represented the pinnacle of Japan's wartime engineering. Diesel-electric propulsion, a double hull for increased strength, and advanced periscopes capable of scanning the horizon from incredible distances. But even with their technological brilliance, time was running out for Japan. The Allies were advancing on all fronts, and the Pacific was becoming a battlefield dominated by American air and sea power. Yet the Japanese High Command pressed on. Their plan for the first of 400 Fleet was both daring and desperate, a surprise attack on the Panama Canal. By destroying the locks, they hoped to cripple the U.S. Navy's ability to move ships between the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans, buying Japan time to regroup. The submarines would travel from Japan across the Pacific, surface near the Galapagos Islands, and launch their Saran bombers under the cover of darkness. It was an operation so ambitious that it bordered on the impossible. But before the attack could be launched, the tides of war shifted once again. Japan's losses at Saipan, Leyte Gulf, and Okinawa left its navy shattered. fuel shortages became catastrophic. Even as the I-400 and I-401 were finally completed in late 1944, their mission was repeatedly delayed. By mid-1945, Japan's leaders changed the target. Instead of Panama, the submarines were to attack the massive U.S. fleet anchorage at Ulithi Atoll, where hundreds of American ships prepared for the final invasion of Japan. In August 1945, as the submarines prepared for their final mission, the world above them changed forever. The atomic bomb fell on Hiroshima. Days later, another struck Nagasaki. Japan's surrender was imminent. Yet, deep beneath the sea, the crew of the I-400 had not yet received the order to stand down. They continued their patrol, unaware that the war they were fighting had already ended. When the surrender finally came through, the captain of the 400, Tatsunosuke Ariazumi, faced an unbearable choice. Rather than surrender his vessel intact, he ordered the destruction of classified documents and the scuttling of weapons. Shortly afterward, he took his own life, leaving the submarine to be captured by the Americans. When U.S. naval intelligence first inspected the I-400, they were stunned. The size, the range, the technology. It was beyond anything the Allies had imagined Japan capable of. The submarine represented a terrifying possibility. A weapon that could have changed the course of the war, had it been deployed just months earlier. American engineers studied the captured vessels closely, examining every detail of their design. Some of their innovations would later inspire post-war submarine development, even influencing early Cold War engineering. But the story of the I-400 ended quietly. In 1946, the captured submarines, including the I-400 and I-401, were scuttled off the coast of Hawaii to prevent the Soviet Union from examining their technology. They vanished beneath the waves, their secrets lost for decades. It wasn't until 2005 that the wreck of the I-401 was rediscovered by ocean explorers, lying silent on the seafloor like a sleeping giant. The discovery reignited fascination with this forgotten marvel of engineering, a weapon born of desperation, too late to alter history, yet powerful enough to remind the world of what human ingenuity can achieve, even in the darkest times. The story of the I-400 is not just a tale of machines and warfare. It is a story of ambition, imagination, and the limits of human endurance. It stands as a haunting relic of a world at war, a reminder that innovation and destruction often walk hand in hand, and that beneath the waves of history, some secrets take decades to resurface.